up, everybody? Welcome to the Narrow Door Reunion. We're so glad you could join us. Today we're going to be just chopping up with the cast. So if you want to head over and introduce you real quick, we have Nisha, who played Niche, Leanna, who played Lido, James, who played Lil Tread, and Darius, starring himself.
Yeah, but you didn't have a name.
I was nameless.
It's all right.
But you got
So, thank you guys for making time out of you taking time out your
My
day
busy
to
day.
join us. So starting off real quick, if you three maybe could give us a little rundown of your characters and kind of who you portrayed and what your character was like. All of you guys were teenagers, but give the people a little bit. Niche, why don't we start with you?
Yeah. Well, Niche, she was popular as I am in real life.
Yeah.
But high schooler, so it's a little less popular than I am now, but it's okay. Niche was kind of just conflicted about I'm chasing the things of the world and so worried about I just want to get in the world and fulfill myself. And then at the end, it kind of came to a point where I was desperate, came to the end of myself and kind of just realized that I couldn't do it.
You know, how about you?
Yeah, so I was Lido. So Lido was very much, first off, she didn't listen, as you can see from the conversation with Darius. She did not listen, but she was very much a go-getter. I'm going to make things happen. I'm going to do things my way. No one else can tell me what to do. I'm going to work really hard at whatever I'm doing. And really, in this place, she saw a lot of things in Little Tread, in Darius, that she wanted. She wanted the things of God, but she didn't want to go the way that God had chosen.
How about you? What was you played a pretty significant role in that? In the first couple of scenes, we got to see that you were the only one going in and out of the door.
Yeah.
So explain your character a little bit, and then also kind of give us a glimpse into what the door represented.
Okay, so my character in the Narrow Door was Lil Tread. I was basically a guy who was into fashion, into music, just kind of the things that a regular high school teenager would be into. But also I had a relationship with Christ as well. And so my character, I was the one who was trying to kind of bring that balance between everyone, kind of letting them know that, hey, you can still be yourself and still be saved and still have a relationship with Christ. And they were wondering okay, well, how come you could go in and out of this door? They didn't know that it was because of my relationship with Christ. And so I would subliminally try to give messages and try to talk to them, letting them know that I have access to everything that's on the inside because of my relationship with Christ. And so I was kind of like a well-balanced guy who was down to earth, still love fashion, still love music, still love my friends.
Also, Lido had previous experience with him to see just the peace in his life, the joy in his life, and wanting those things. And so, when I saw him going into the door, even he brought out the water and brought out those things, I was intrigued by those things. How every time I'm in need, he goes in this door and comes out with what we need. And so it was definitely very much something okay, if he's doing that, then I want, it must be good things in there, because only good things have come from there. For all my experiences thus far, was that only good things have come from there.
Yeah, how about for you, Niche? Because your response was kind of the opposite. You were not really interested at all. Didn't really trip off him going in and out.
Yeah, because I kind of had already had previous knowledge about God and the door, just I don't know, knowledge, but from somebody else. But I had no experiential knowledge with it, and so it was yeah, that's cool, but it's I was trying to give me mine and for me on the outside of the world. So I didn't think I needed Treadway or anything in the door. He got what he needed, but what I got what I needed was out in the world. That's what I thought.
Okay, so the first video ends with Lido, you climbing over the roof and looking in all the windows and trying all these other ways. Can you give us a little bit of insight into your thought process as to, again, what kind of were you seeking after?
I was just trying to get in that dog. I don't know what else they want to tell you. It's that's what I do. It's you do everything to get in, and that's what I was doing. In my mind, it's look, this is what I want. I want this, and there's got to be another way. There's got to be another way. And so that's what I'm
And the natural mind will kind of tell you that she's seeing all these windows, she's seeing all these other doors, and she's come on, I got to be able to get in this building another way. And you know, it was just funny to me to, you know, see her creeping around the building, climbing on the rooftop, trying to really get in this door. But in my mind, you know, when he had told me in part 2, and I'm sure we'll get there later on, he was like, "Oh, that was Lito telling her." Like, I was just laughing, like, man, that girl is crazy, because in the short story and the first one, I know her character. I know her. She's working hard. She'll do whatever it takes, and it was just funny because I knew that she's not going to get through that door.
Which leads to a conversation that you have with Darius. So what were those things that you were trying to bring in? Kind of what did they represent? What were their significance?
A lot of them represented just like my work ethic, even just things that I thought would get me in my good works, things I had done well. It was like my track record. Like, you know, I'm like taking in all these things that I think are like my track record and able to get in. And also, I mean, another thing about that was it wasn't just always about the things I was taking in. Also, that I didn't want Darius's help. Like, I didn't like hardly let him talk even during that time. And so, like, I was very much in a position where it was like, even with me climbing on the roof, like, why didn't I just go to James and like let him like show me about, you know, very much from position of like just a lot of pride, from the position of like, you know what, like I want to go my way.
So Darius, how did you feel knowing Lita was trying to get in, but she was trying to bring all those other things? Because you also play one of the other few people in the video who have a relationship with Jesus.
I think about like our friends in our life where we see them, and then they're just like, oh, like I want this about God, or like I want God for this, like not really truly having like wanting the relationship with Him, and I'm like trying to like tell Lito that that like no, like you can come in, but you can't like bring the stuff with you, because like everything you need like in life is already with Christ.
Do you have anything else that you would add to that about like how what you thought towards Lito, her position?
It would be to, you know, let people know that, you know, there's only one way into salvation, to the kingdom of God, and to the kingdom of heaven. You know, there is no alternative routes. You know, what God says when He says that I am the way, I am the truth, or narrow is the door that leads to life, like that's exactly what He meant. And so, you know, I just wanted to let people know that, you know, everything you need is found in Jesus, and there is no other way. Anything else will let you down. You know, Lito was let down that she didn't get in from going over the roof. She was let down further on, you know, in the narrow door.
So what was kind of the realization that you came to that kind of caused you to kind of get up and say, hey, forget it with the smoking, forget it with eating candy, like I'm gonna go clean myself up and I need to get to the door?
Well, honestly, like when I like just kind of became desperate, I became really desperate, and like nothing in this world is gonna fulfill me. Like smoking won't, these snacks won't, and like this popularity, and like nothing in me can do this. And so it was like, even the way James like so lovingly challenged me to be like you gotta figure it out for yourself. Like you gotta go to the door for yourself. You gotta walk through the door. It's not like my mom couldn't do it for me, my granny couldn't do it, like his wants like for me, like his wishes for me, like that wouldn't do it. It was just I had to like decide like no, I'm at a place where like I'm at the end of myself. I'm desperate, and honestly I need life. I need somebody to fill me. I need joy. Like I want peace. Like I want all these things. It was like nothing in this world is giving it to me. It's the only thing I haven't tried. So I became really desperate for these things, and not even just desperate for these things, but I became desperate for Jesus.
And then Lito, so it continues on, and it kind of shows you keep on trying to find other ways, and actually you open the door and the alarm goes off and it has you kind of just running away. So can you share a little bit about like the dangers of even seeking our own way, and how that often leads us to run from the very thing that we're needing, like in life?
Yeah, so definitely, you know, the verse that comes to mind is when you enter through a gate that is not like my gate, like God saying Jesus saying He is the gate, that you're a thief or a robber. And so that really what it is in the kingdom of God. Like there's so many different ways, even seeking other gods, other religions, other you know, academias, positive psychology, all these things, you know, my work ethic, all these things. So there is definitely a lot of disappointment in that in me, but a lot of it just unwillingness to say like, no, Jesus, I want your way. It's just an unwillingness, just really just an unwillingness to lay aside my pride and truly like come to Jesus for all that I needed.
So James, you opened the door for Niche when she was banging on it, and she was saying that she was ready. Kind of tell us a little bit about your conversation that you had with her and what you kind of challenged her to.
Right. Which is one of my favorite parts. That I'm ready.
Okay, Grammy Award winning performance.
Grammy Award winning.
Call me
Yeah.
Gabrielle.
I really wanted to, calm her down, number one, because she was just kind of like, hysterically saying, I'm ready now, banging and knocking on the door. I believe that she thought that maybe she missed out on her opportunity or something else could have been wrong with her because I hadn't heard from her in a while. So I come out like, hey, calm down. Like, what are you ready? You ready for what? And she just was like, I'm ready now. I'm like, what are you ready for? She's like, I'm ready to come through the door. And I'm like, that's something I can't do for you. I can't open up this door and let you in because salvation doesn't come through a person. You could hear someone minister, you could hear somebody preach the gospel all day, but if that person don't make that conscious decision in their own heart, believe in their heart and confess with their own mouth that they want Jesus to be their Lord, then salvation doesn't happen. And so I just really challenged her, and God knows that. Nobody else knows. It's just you and God. So I challenged her. I said, hey, you said you didn't want this. You said you wanted the world. You didn't want what your grandmother taught you. And she just like, I'm ready. So I'm like, okay, well, if you're ready, then God knows it. He knows your heart. And when you walk up to that door, it's going to open for you just like it was opening for me. And you get ready to experience a life that you have never experienced before on the inside.
So as we just wrap it up, give me your thoughts on what do you want people to walk away with after watching these two videos.
The thing I would love for everyone to walk away with is just understanding that the one thing that Darius said that might have just actually came, I don't know, ran past, he's like, you can go in, the door's always open. He said that when I had the stuff in my hand, he said the door is always open. And that's what I think about Jesus. Like, Jesus is the way, and his arms are wide open for you. It doesn't matter what you've done. It doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't even matter even what baggage you have carrying in there, right? The door is always open to go through his way and his way only. It's always open, right? And so Jesus said he has access. He has access to the Father. He has access to life. He has access to this relationship with Jesus. That is our access to everything in the kingdom. And so I just hope that everyone sees that, and really understands that Jesus is the way. There's no other way. Like, everything your heart is longing for is found in him. And so that's really what I hope is people understand, is that, the door is open. It's always open, and you have a choice to make, to say yes to it or no.
I would say I would love people to just know that, even the good things or the bad things in life, without Jesus, those things will still fail you. And so if you look at Lido and you look at my character, I had really good grades, I was really popular. Lido worked really hard. She started playing on the basketball team, all these really good things that people in the world would say oh no, this is successful and it's gonna bring you joy. Nothing apart from Jesus, it's still gonna fail you. So honestly, life doesn't come from this side. Life doesn't come in this world. You don't find that here. You find that in Jesus.
Just want you to know that, there's a lot that could be pulling on you, trying to stop you from walking through this narrow door, which is Jesus. There are relationships, there are friendships, there are things that's on the inside of you that's fighting for your attention. But once God starts calling you and he starts sending people your way to really tug at your heart, just respond to it. Just respond. And know that, like Lee said, that his arms are open and he's waiting on you just to respond to that call. So make that conscious decision to say, you know what, it may not be the popular thing to do. Everybody else may be doing this. Everybody else may be going here. But if I really want to find out who I truly am, I got to get back to Jesus and get my relationship with God. And when you get that, then you find your identity, you find your peace, you find your happiness, and you find your fulfillment, just as Niche did in the story.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much again for joining us. I hope you guys tune in to our next YouTube series. And until then, thanks so much.
Bye. Love y'all.